Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about, we're going to have a little Chapter 6 review today. Okay, so we are going to be talking about things we have talked about in, Chapter 6. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the very first thing, all I want you to do, you do not have to write the directions in today's lesson. It says solve and graph. You don't have to write that. What I want you to do is I want you to work on these problems, go through it. I want you to write them down, and check to see if you are correct. Okay, that's all I want you to do is I want you to write each problem down, but I also want you to check to see if it's correct. So the very first one, pause it, try out this problem, make sure you solve and graph it, but try out this problem and see what you come up with. If you are not sure, okay, about how to do this problem, watch the review as I'm going through here, and then what I want you to do is circle it and make sure you ask me this tomorrow before our test, because our test is coming tomorrow. Okay, so let's get started. 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 35. Remember, we solve this just like a regular equation. So in order to get rid of that, or to get x all by itself, we need to get rid of the 2 first. So we have 3x is greater than or equal to 33. Opposite operation one more time, divide by 3, and we get x is going to be, the question is, what's our sign? Okay, how do we know our sign? Well, we're dividing by a positive number. So because we're dividing by a positive number, excuse me, ooh, I got a little yawn there. How can I yawn during math? Unbelievable. Well, because we're dividing by a positive number, it is going to be greater than or equal to. So on our graph, remember, it is a line, number line, so make sure you have those arrows there. Okay, so we put our 3 points. I'm just going to put negative 11, 0, and 11. Greater than 11, so what I have to do, greater than or equal to, is an open dot or closed. Closed dot, shaded to the left or to the right? To the right. We're shading to the right this time because you're thinking x is greater than 11. A number larger than 11 is 12. That's to the right of 11. Okay, next one. There's a step before you even start. What do you have to do before you even really get into the nitty-gritty of the problem? Distribute. Distribute, man. I love that word. Okay, if you said the word distribute out loud, raise your hand. Okay, I didn't see enough of your hands, so just say the word distribute right now. Oh, wait. Go ahead, say it out loud. Thank you. Okay, so we have to distribute negative 2x plus a negative 8 is going to be greater than 3x plus 17. Okay, just to make it nice of me, I am going to bring over my 2x here. Okay, so I'm going to add 2x to both sides. I now have negative 8 is greater than 5x plus 17. That is an x. Then we're going to subtract 17 on both sides. And my answer is going to be negative 25 is greater than 5x. Divide by 5 on both sides. And I get negative 5 is greater than x. Now, the question is, how does this look on a graph? Okay, be careful, because a lot of times you want to look at this and you want to graph it based on which way that is pointing. Don't do that. Base that off of where, okay, where or what is stated in the problem. It says negative 5 is bigger than x. So we want to find a number that negative 5 is larger than. Okay, so first of all, open dot or closed dot. It is an open because it's greater than. Okay, now we have negative 5 is greater than x. So a number that negative 5 is bigger than negative 6. So because it's shade, it is bigger than negative 6. Negative 6 is to the left of negative 5, and we move to the left, to the left. Everybody shade to the left. Man, yes, I love it. You should just sing that. Sing that with me next time. Just sing it, okay? Love that math song because it just brings joy to the world when you sing it out loud. Brings joy to the world. Okay, never mind. All right, moving on. Okay, this one we're going to solve and graph this equation. Okay, the very first thing you have to do, remember these are and or ors. Okay, ors, we go opposite ways, ands are connected. Okay, so I want you to pause now, try this first one out. Alright, so looking at this, the very first thing you do, I'm just going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to split it up. I'm going to have negative 15 is less than or equal to 5x. And on the other side, I have 5x is equal to, or is less than 20. Okay, I'm just going to solve here, divide by 5, and I have negative 3 is less than or equal to x. On the right side, divide by 5 again, and I have x is less than 4. Okay, so I know that negative 3 is less than or equal to x, and x is less than 4. Okay, so when I do this as a complex equation, it would look negative 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 4. As a graphing, look at this. Again, I'm going to have negative 3 here. I'm going to have 4 here, 0 in the middle. Put in my points first. On that negative 3, I'm looking on this left side. Negative 3 is less than or equal to x, so is that going to be a pot, or is that going to be a closed or an open dot? Closed. And 4, it is, again, a less than symbol. It is an open dot, and because this, what type of an equation, an and or an or? It's an and, so we're going to shade in between. In between. Awesome. Next, same idea. Get x all by itself. These are the same processes we dealt with in the past. We dealt with these last year. So you go through the exact same steps. So the very first one, add 2, and you get x is greater than 10. On the right side, subtract 1, and you get x is less than or equal to 6. So now, again, I'm making my graph. I made sure there's arrows there. I put 6, I put 10. I'm going to put one number in the middle of 8. Oh, man. 6, 8, 10. Gosh, that just works out beautifully. Okay, so this one, look at my points. Okay, I have less than or equal to 6. So I'm going to have a closed dot at 6. It's going to be greater than 10. Open dot at 10. We have an or, so because we have an or, we are going to be shading opposite directions. Also, looking at this left equation, we're looking for numbers that are greater than 10. That's everything to the right of 10. And on the left side, we're looking at numbers less than or equal to 6. So that's any number 6 or below. So remember, that's included in the solution set. All right. Okie dokie artichoke. Alrighty then. Alright, so one thing I want to cover before we get into this next slide is going to be, remember, if you divide an absolute value, rewind. Remember, when you divide an inequality by a negative number, or you multiply an inequality by a negative number, what do you do to that sign? You have to flip it. Okay, so don't forget those small steps that really change a problem, because once you make that small step there, or that small mistake, okay, that's going to hurt you in the graph. That's going to hurt you in which way to shade. Okay, so be careful. I want you, even tomorrow, double check your answers, make sure that you're doing it correctly, and then we can move on from there. All right? Okay, so here, I want you to pause now, write down this problem. Okay, and I want you to see if the point is a solution of the equation. First, I want you to pause, see if you can do it. I will tell you how to do it in just a moment. So pause. Okay, so let's check to see if you are right. If you did it correctly, you plugged in your x and your y, and you solved. At the end, if the answer is true, it is a solution. If it is Not true, it is not a solution. Okay? So if I look at this x here, okay, my x is 2. I'm going to plug that in. My y is 1. Plug that in. So I have negative 2 times 2 plus 5 times 1. That's going to be greater or equal than 5. Negative 4 plus 5. And my answer of 1 is greater than or equal to 5. That is incorrect. So because of that, is that a solution? No. I'm just checking to see if they are solutions. I'm plugging in my numbers, one for my x, one for my y, and I'm solving. If the answer is true, okay, then I can move on. I can say yes. If it's not true, it is not a solution. Okay, next. Next. Okay, here we go. Negative 1. I'm going to plug in for my x. 2, I'm going to plug in for my y. And now I have negative 2 times negative 1 plus 5 times 2 is going to be greater or equal to 5. 2 plus 10 is greater or equal to 5. Oh my goodness! Yes! We have a solution! Solution. We have a solution. Gotta love those. Just when you get a solution, you just gotta tell everyone about it. You just want to tell the world. I got a solution! Yeah! Okay, next one. We now need to plug in my x and my y first. Here we go. Plug in 4 for x. I need to plug in 3 for y. And yes, I just noticed that y doesn't look too much like a y. But it is a y. That is, right there, a y. Okay. Now, if we look at this, we now have negative 2. Whoops, I went one step too far. Negative 2 times 4 plus 5 times 3. And that's going to be greater or equal to 5. We will see. Negative 8 plus 15 is greater than or equal to 5. Negative 8 plus 15 is what? I'll wait. What is it? 7. Good. 7, is that 7 is greater than or equal to 5? Is that true? Yes! 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 We have a solution. Yes! Yes, we have a solution. If you got a solution on that one, I want you to turn to your partner right now and give them a high five. They may not know what's going on, but I want you to give them a high five. Okay? So give someone a high five. Good job, Mr. Sheeman. Yeah. All right, here we go. Moving on. What I want us to do in this one, again, solve and graph. Now we have to deal with absolute values. Remember, in order to focus on and get the correct answer with these, we have to split these into 2 equations. Okay, so split them into 2 equations and solve. All right? Okay, here we go. Pause now and give it a shot. All right. Now what I want you to do, we now have 4x plus 5 is less than or equal to 1. But now we also have 4x plus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Don't forget that negative sign, and don't forget that you flip the sign. Okay, you have to flip the sign on that second one. When you're distributing that negative to that 1, you actually have to flip that sign. Okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to solve for this problem. Okay, and then at the end, I did not say this, but at the end I want you to tell me, is this an AND equation or is this an OR equation after you graph? Okay, go ahead. Alright, here we go. Very first one. I'm going to start on the left side. I'm going to subtract 5 on both sides. 4x is now less than or equal to a negative 4. Divide by 4 on both sides, and I get x is less than or equal to 4. Sorry, negative 4. Sorry, not even negative 4. Man, what am I doing? Mr. Sheeman, I think you're going crazy. It's negative 1. Come on, that's whack. Okay, next one. Again, we have the same idea. Subtract 5 on both sides. We now have 4x is going to be greater than or equal to a negative 6. X, because we divide by 4, x is going to be greater than or equal to 3 over 2. But it's negative 3 over 2. Alright, so we have x is less than negative 1. I'm going to put this on my graph. Okay, here we go. Negative 1. I also now have a negative 3.5. Plug in the open or close dots if you know it. So we have at negative 1 we have a closed dot. At negative 3.5 we have a closed dot. And how do I shade this? In between. So when I shade in between them, what type of equation is this? And. How could you have known that that's an and before you even started? Yep, that symbol right at the very beginning. That inequality sign is very, very, very key. Okay, because that can tell you exactly if it's an or an and right off the bat. All right, awesome. Try this last one. Okay, and then we are done taking notes. I do have a small assignment that I want you to do, but other than that, this is all I have for you today. All right. Here we go. Very first thing you have to do here, okay, when we are answering, we have to add this 5 to both sides. So now we have 2x plus 1, absolute value still is going to be greater than 12. So from here, once we get rid of that 5, now we can do our little Christmas tree. I think I heard someone say that earlier. Not today because I cannot hear through this iPad, but I am able to, or I did able to hear someone say Christmas tree thingamajig before. So when I do that, I now have 2x plus 1 is greater than 12 on the left side. 2x plus 1 is less than negative 12 on the right side. Okay, I'm going to solve for x on both sides. And when I do so on this left, I now have x is going to be, I'm moving too fast. X is going to be greater than 11 over 2. If you can see that, that is 11 over 2. All right, next one. Again, subtract 1 on both sides. And now I have 2x is going to be less than negative 13. I'm going to divide by 2, and my final answer is going to be x is less than a negative 13 over 2 because I divided by 2 here. Same thing on the left side, divide by 2. So I have x is greater than 11 over 2. X is less than negative 13 over 2. So when I do that, I'm just going to do negative 13 over 2. I'm going to do 11 over 2. Put 0 right in the middle. Open or close dot on the 11 over 2. Open. I'm greater than 11 over 2, so I need to be bigger. Shaded to the right. On the negative 13 over 2, I'm an open dot as well. And I'm going to be shaded to the left here because we're less than negative 13 over 2. Okay. So, what we did here is we broke it into 2 equations, got rid of that 5 first, broke it into 2 equations. One thing I don't want you to forget, though, is how to graph on a linear or on a coordinate graph. Okay? Remember, shading above or below. Remember, again, dotted or solid lines. Okay? If you have any questions on those problems, I'm going to give you your homework, so you don't have to do one of those in your notes. And it's going to be on page 379. And what I want you to focus on is I want you to focus on the odds. Okay, focus on the odds specifically on page 379. I want you to do 1 through 11 odds. I also want you to do 17 through 21 odds. I want you to look at number 22. 22 is a big one. I want you to be able to write that complex equation down. Okay? And then I also want you to work on 33 through 39, and I want you to do all of those. Okay? Focus on the odds first and then do all of them. If the answers are not in the back of the book, because I am not 100% sure if they are in your books, what I want you to do is I want you to go over to my desk at each one of these stops. So do 1 through 11 odds first. Come back, check your answers. When you're done with that, do 17 through 21 odds. Then check your answer. Okay? Then go back and do 22 and 33 through 39 odds, or sorry, all, but start with the odds first. Okay? Check your answers with either my book or your own book. Okay, you can also check it with a partner, but I want you to check it with the correct answer in one of our books. Make sure that you guys are taking your time, walking through this slowly. Watch out for those dividing of negative signs. Don't lose negative signs in the process. If you're having a problem or you don't understand something, put it up on the backboard. Make sure I know which page is which. Whether it was yesterday's homework or today's homework. Is this homework? I'm going to say for 33 through 39 all. That is going to be at least a piece of homework. Everything else you can use for practice, but 33 through 39 I want you to do that at bare minimum. But do it in this order. Okay? So your homework is 33 through 39. That's going to be due tomorrow, 4 points. However, if you should be working on homework. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!